Hello. Hi all.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Uh-oh. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk. That was one of my questions. Hello, everyone. I'm still trying to get it together back here. So it's season 6. Oh my gosh.
I can't remember if anything or anyone of any importance showed up in season 6. It was
I
just kind of
know. Yeah. Right? We were like, nah.
eh.
Wait, it was like 3. I forgot Fiona was before the guys. I also
Mhm.
forgot that. She was like right away.
Fiona, Lucas, and then Nathan.
Yes, they all arrived together. Okay, so I wanted to start with the Christmas episode because I felt like they were worlds apart. So, I mean, almost even the mindset of everyone. So, when it was the Christmas episode, is when she has her baby. She has little Jack, and I love that episode. And then when it comes to the first episode of the season, it's 4 months later. She even says it. So I feel like it's totally like totally a different world, because she's moving on, but subtly, but I don't know. Just I don't know, it was just a different vibe for me. Was there were there a different team of directors then or showrunners from season 5 to 6?
I don't know, but you could have a different vibe from season 6 because remember they had to revamp the season quite a bit.
You know what?
Lori
That
left, and they had to stop production, revamp it, and
yeah.
I suspect they may have started going in different directions for
Yes.
this.
Yeah. That's true. So, one of the things that I really loved, and I didn't notice it until, I mean, I noticed it, but I really noticed it and enjoyed it in the Christmas episode, was the trio that was forming, the real true bond between Elizabeth and Rosemary and Abigail, like the three of them really becoming friends. And it kind of, even though there was three of them, reminded me a little bit of Lucy and Ethel when they were running around trying to, help Elizabeth give birth. And I liked it because there were some really sentimental sad parts and then the three of them together. And I was like, oh, this is cute. And I know some people are like, oh, if Lori didn't, I got something in my eye, didn't leave, then Rosemary and Elizabeth wouldn't have been so close. I don't think so. I think that they were really going to make them a trio. And then of course, what went down,
Reality
and then
happened.
yeah. So I enjoyed that episode. I also liked that they had the whole town coming together and helping out the orphanage. And that actually was what was leading to
When Hope
When Hope
Falls.
Falls, right? But it never, I mean, people thought it was going to really pick up. I was excited to watch it. I watched the first few episodes and I didn't like it. So I didn't watch anymore. Did you watch any of those episodes?
It didn't really engage me. It didn't grab me the way When Calls the Heart did.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Just before we even go on, I don't know if you want to say anything. There are people who are making comments right now. Um, I thought I saw someone say something about, yeah, it says, Arlene saying the showrunner was the same, editor was different in some episodes as well. Okay.
And
I
I
want to,
think that combined with the changes they had to do, that's why you're seeing, you know, things may have been a little different vibe.
yeah. And Brian saying he wanted to see the original episodes from 5 to 10. I wonder if they'll ever see the light of day. I don't think that they filmed all of those, Brian. I think the way it goes, because if you look, they'll tell you they filmed, there was one scene, they do it in blocks. So the last scene that we saw, I mean, the last episode we saw Lori in, and then there was another one. They never aired that one, and then they revamped everything. It wasn't like there were more episodes and it was just one more and we never saw it. I don't think
Yeah,
there
so
was
it's
like,
a storyline they were adapting or
yeah,
modifying to
yeah,
accommodate her absence.
yeah. And Janice is saying she thinks that they would have been best buds. And but okay. I really thought that Rosemary and Lee was going to adopt. You know what? We didn't even, yes. I thought that, especially when they went to go and visit, they went to not Hope Valley, Benson Hills. Is that where? No, where is their orphanage? The orphanage is somewhere close by, and they went to visit. Lee and Rosemary were a crossover couple that went there. I thought the same thing, and I love that little boy. He was a cutie patootie, and I thought there was like great potential for if they had adopted him as well. I thought that, but this is also this season had so much in it. This is the season where Rosemary really voices Brookfield. Thank you, where she really voices that she wants to have a baby, and what if it never happens? Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is it just so much went down and on. Anything that's standing out for you before we go any further?
Before we start looking at, the various storylines, I had a question for the group.
Uh-huh.
So going back, looking at season 6 episodes,
Now.
looking at it now, did it change your perspective? Because the first time you looked at it, that was when we would start seeing the whole Elizabeth, Lucas, Nathan stuff. Who's gonna end up with who?
The dreaded
Yes,
triangle.
triangle. I didn't want to even say it. But
Yeah.
did you find yourself getting engaged with other storylines or picking up on things you didn't really pick up on before because you were so focused on Lucas or Nathan or Elizabeth or the three of them?
Yeah. We were wondering out there anything like the storylines with Henry.
I found myself looking at more, getting kind of intrigued with some of the other storylines that were going on beyond, just Lucas, Elizabeth, and Nathan.
Right. Well, Martha, yes, that's what she said, Lucas, from the start. We all were like fascinated with who was coming on. I get that. But I was saying in retrospect, now that we go back, like if you went back and visited and watched recently, past year or a week ago or whatever, when you look at it, you already know about the two of them getting together, but you're also looking at all the other storylines. Like I was saying, for instance, with Henry, I mean, he was almost like giddy when he was in her company, and he was just building her up and talking to like Lucas, almost like she was like so charismatic that she could do anything. He was like, "You
Mhm.
see, I told you what was going to happen," when she had to be the deciding vote of whether they could keep the saloon open or not. And they're having those little talks, and they were very flirty
I think the
outside.
very last scene before of her last episode was with Henry.
Yes, yes, yes. And I agree that I thought, oh, I bet you that's where that storyline was going to go.
I
We have
think so
someone,
too.
Bryson, who is saying, I think if Abigail would have stayed, her and Henry would have got together. Okay.
Totally
Yes,
agree.
I agree. Totally agree. I mean, that's where all of the clues were going. We could do an analysis on that, we could do a whole show on that. And I think then they had to shift. And something I was saying that I noticed, and I was telling Kathy this, especially in that last episode, the change and the angst that Henry felt as the season went on, especially in the last episode where he says, I have to live with choosing, especially when that telegram is found, when not Lee, I'm sorry, when Bill is cleaning out his, files because he's got to find somewhere to work, and he finds the telegram and he marches out in public for everybody here. Bill has no couth, okay? So he
Really.
goes out there and he's carrying on, and he, says, what does this mean? And he's like, I chose them. Oh, he knew. He asked, he didn't think it was safe. They said, they being the business, we did our investigation, the company, and it's fine. And even though in his heart he didn't think it was. And he said, now I have to live with that forever. And then Elizabeth has that whole sweet scene with him, which I think would have been Abigail having that scene.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're a different man, and the town doesn't really know who you are. And he laughs. He goes, is that supposed to be like a compliment? And you could see how he's regretting and he's hurting. And I was like, geez, that was the last episode in 6. He's still going to go through all of 7, 8, and 9 until he gets redemption. And I'm like,
or until he feels like he deserves redemption.
yeah. And you know what, though? I have to say, when I was thinking about this, I was like, really? It went on that long? It didn't drag for me. So, however, for me, they were writing it in season 7 and 8 and 9. I think they did a good job of us seeing him in, I mean, let's face it, he was a pretty evil kind of guy in the beginning. So he probably did, like I was saying to Kathy, that talk about long suffering, that would definitely be some long suffering.
Yep.
I think that's why in season 9, when he got down on his knees to pray, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, that scene was like so good. Oh, and I wish that
Martin is so good.
he is, and I wish he would come on, but he doesn't ever do chats or interviews or anything. He just doesn't do it. I'm like, oh, I wish he would. I wish he would. Let's see. What's this? I was just trying to see before we move on to other things. Oh, yes, yes, we didn't even get there. We didn't even talk about that. Sorry, Lillian. So we got to backtrack to that Christmas episode, which is, if I think all the Christmas episodes are exceptional. I think whoever writes them does a phenomenal job, and they're always heartfelt and magical and beautiful.
Always move story too.
And it does. Yeah, it moves story. So Abigail, Rosemary, Molly, and Flo finished the nursery for Elizabeth. I love that. Those women put the wallpaper up, and oh, I love that. That's just what's really good, great. Like, and they have the picture of Jack on the shelf in there. Oh, it was so good. It was good. Very good. All right, go ahead, Kathy. What do you want to say?
I saw someone made a comment, and I can't tell who it is right now. I think when they had the dance where Elizabeth it was the lady's choice, and she asked Lucas to dance, and then they ended it on that horrible note of her like looking like deer in headlights when she saw Nathan standing at the door. And I believe, and I thought this all along back in 6.
I know what you're going to say.
She was seeing Nathan as Jack.
Yeah.
And so when she saw that look, that was the look she would have had if she had seen her husband Jack standing there. And I think the feeling was, oh my gosh, I'm betraying Jack. That's what that look was all about.
Because as soon as
her heart and her instincts, when she asked Lucas to dance, if it had been more than that, she would have gone over and asked Nathan.
Yeah. And when she asked Lucas to dance, and she was really had her face lit up. Then when she captures his look, when she like looks over at Nathan, but when she puts her smile, like when her eyes go away from him, she does focus back on Elizabeth, and on Lucas, and she's smiling and she's excited. I saw it the same way you did, Kathy. Like I thought, but I did, for those of you that watched the video, I mean, it has like many views. This one video I did, I was, and this story, I've told it a million times. I didn't even realize, because I didn't do any kind of social media for When Calls the Heart until after season 8, and she made her choice. And I just stumbled upon stuff, and I didn't realize that there were people having this big war, which kind of made me chuckle, because I was like, it's a TV show and people are calling for people to be fired. That's their job. That's silly. But anyway, when I went back and I looked, I was like, really? Like they didn't see what I saw. So when you look and you trace and you start from the very beginning, which is not the Christmas episode, but the next one, although the Christmas episode does have a book involved in it, but still, we go to, I wanted to know if that was a real book. I looked everywhere for that book. The Christmas episode, she's reading to baby Jack. Well, we don't know it's baby Jack yet, but she's reading to him. And that book, I looked everywhere for it. I have to ask Peter if it's a prop or if it's a real book, because I can never find it. Anyway, books are mentioned right away. Laura borrows books. The kids at school talk about books. In the next episode, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we could have a library? Books. When she's in the middle of the town, and she meets Lucas, and she does her little flirty thing with him, and he does the flirty thing with her. Books, right? Next thing you know, they're doing a library together, and then it progresses. And then in the next season, in season 7,
he's writing her book, and he's helping her and telling her about his history with books. Yeah.
Yes. So, and all those scenes in the library, and he takes her to see her like favorite author, or so they had a theme going from the get-go. Like,
Yeah.
great, like, so I don't know. Yeah.
They had a connection right
Yes.
from the beginning. She is what, I don't remember, a year and a half from Jack's death, when they meet. And
Mhm.
I'm sorry, she lit up. I mean, she was flirty.
Yeah,
She may not have realized she was being flirty, but that girl was being flirty.
she was.
Hmm.
Yeah. Lillian saying when she saw him, it was like seeing a ghost. Yes. She was even afraid to meet Nathan. Do you remember? Like when she
It
heard the
took
new
a
member.
long time before she went down and introduced herself.
Yep. Yeah. This one, I absolutely agree. She was seeing Jack and felt like she was betraying him. Yep, it was like a trigger to her. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So, yes, Bryson. I love the episode where the phone comes. So that's another big thing that happens in this season, which is like pushing them forward, in modern times. The phone comes. There were it was great because it was weaved into the storylines, silly things like the one where Rosemary gets a phone and she hides it. And Lee's like, what is that? What's that ringing? Oh, ringing in your ears. He's like, where's that phone? You're not allowed to have a phone, right? What if Elizabeth needs help? Or what if,
She lives next door. Come on.
I know. So the phone rings and he answers and he goes, it's for you. And he leaves. He goes, I got it at work. And what was she doing with it? Gossiping.
Exactly.
That's when Fiona says, "Oh, you're such a dilly." She calls her and she says, "Did you hear about the new Mountie? I heard he's, I forget what the word was that she used, but something about how cute and hot he was." And and then they're all gossipy, and someone was saying that Fiona was very different when she first came on.
I'm
And
sorry, but that colored my opinion of her for a long time. She came on being all nasty to Lucas and spying on him and running back to Bill with her stories. And it took me a while to warm up to her after that, because it's like, you don't do that to Lucas Bouchard, because it's wrong.
I'm just looking at everybody's different. I agree with that. She kind of caused a little bit of trouble, didn't she?
She
Yeah.
did.
So don't get mad at me, but I feel Lori started to take over the show. Okay, that's all right. But Chris, these are all
I
just
don't think you're necessarily wrong. It was almost like she was the central figure. And then
Mhm.
after she left, I think that role fell to Elizabeth.
Yeah. More like involved with everyone. Yeah.
And I don't remember if Lori was an executive producer before she left.
She was.
Was
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
They
Yes.
were both okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking at different comments people are making. I believe they're talking to each other. You are talking to each other. I believe Lori leaving open up storylines for other characters that definitely moved forward and improved. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're hopping and skipping around. So, what were we talking about, Kathy? I forgot.
I don't know, but if Abigail had stayed and you know stayed with Pastor Frank, I would have been voting for their own spinoff. But that's just me.
Pastor Frank had already left. Okay, Kathy. Kathy would have wanted to get a walk on part, right?
There you go.
Mhm. I realize I'm yelling. I've been
Yeah,
yelling.
that was the other thing about Elizabeth. She was staunchly defending Lucas at every turn throughout that season. I mean, she got mad at him for the cards, for him teaching Allie the card trick. Do you remember that? She stormed
Yes.
into the garage. She stormed into the saloon, and he had just said something about, "Oh, I think it's going to be a good day" or something. He looked
Yeah.
at her, maybe not. But she turned around, and I think it was in the same episode. She was defending him for doing that when Nathan had a problem with it. And she's like,
Right. So let's talk about that whole relationship of us or just getting to know Lucas. So I love it that he's sitting in the cafe and they're all talking about him, right? And Abigail goes over and she looks at him and would you by any chance? And he goes, it's me, Lucas Bouchard at your service. And why did they write it as if someone had the business and the nerve to question someone else and where they were and demand that they know their whole life story? Did you live here? Where you from? What?
Bill resented the fact that Lucas, the stranger, came in and bought the saloon. Remember, he wanted to buy the saloon himself.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I
So
think
did Henry.
it was sour grapes.
but he was like so like a jerk. And I have to tell
What
you that
was a jerk then?
Lucas, I love season 6 Lucas because he- I felt like Nathan was kind of boring and silent and quiet, got on my nerves, okay? And I know, and when he was told this, he was supposed to act like Kevin Costner does in The Bodyguard, kind of quiet, so, kind of quiet presence. That's how he was supposed to behave. Even when he goes out on the when the Lee's pay gets stolen and that stagecoach comes through and they have to go and investigate it. He goes, you don't talk much. He's like, no, I don't. That's Lee and Nathan talking to each other. But getting back to Lucas, he had a bit of spice to him, a little snark, like the way he was like, Mr. I'm the man kind of bit, how when he talked to people, but not that it was arrogant that you didn't like it. So he would joke with you and tease you. And I love, love, love the scene, like you said, when Elizabeth's upset and she thought he taught Allie how to gamble. And when she comes in and says all the stuff, and he's got this little look like he's trying to be remorseful, and then he goes, "How much did she win?"
Yeah. And he also got snarky and said, "Hey, actually, I was doing your job for you."
Yes.
He did not take, and he never did take any guff off of her. I mean, I think he was very gentle in it, but he was not a pushover. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Also, I love that Nathan doesn't even know his own niece. He thinks that she's in the school and he's doing his thing and she's running through town and Lucas sees her and it's like, "What are you doing?" and has her come in, and they have that moment where we get to see the vulnerability inside of Lucas with what because of what Allie's saying. Like they connected because they both traveled, were in different places a lot and didn't feel like they were accepted.
I loved the way Lucas has he done it recently? I don't know, but he really related to Allie. And
Mm-hmm.
even after I'm getting past season 6, sorry, but
Yes.
even after she realized that the reason Nathan and Elizabeth weren't going to get together, which she dearly wanted, was because of Lucas. She went to see him and confronted him, and she was snarky, and he talked her down from that. And just he didn't patronize her. He
Nope.
talked to her as a grown up person. I think he gave her some kind of candy or some kind of treat.
Cherries, the
Yeah.
maraschino
Yep.
cherries.
Yep.
Yeah.
And by the time she was gone, she's like, okay, I still don't like it, but I can't be mad at this guy. So
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
got away with the kids.
Yeah. And we get to learn about him through those scenes. And then how hurtful to say to someone, you just don't fit. You know what I mean? Like you
Especially
just
coming
don't.
from that person, it's like, come on.
Yeah, that
You've
was.
been here. I've been here longer than you have, and you're telling me I don't fit.
Yeah.
I wish we could see more of, and maybe we will in season 10. Dark Lucas.
It
Do you
says, and
remember?
that's what happened. Say it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were reading.
No, what were you saying?
I
Go
was
ahead.
saying that I miss what I really loved was Dark Lucas, and I hope we see more of him at some point. And maybe if they ever address the Jeanette storyline again, we'll see that. But do you remember when he heard that Jeanette was being threatened, and he shut down the saloon and got up on the horse with that hat? I love that hat. But he got up on the horse, and the minute Elizabeth saw that gun, she was like, "Nathan, you gotta do something. Help
Uh-huh.
Lucas." Yeah, it was. Yeah, and he was like, "No, everything is fine." And he's like, "No, he didn't look like he was running away from trouble. He looked like he was running to
He
it."
was running, and he was running there because he was running to protect Jeanette because
Yep.
they are close. This is why that Jeanette better pop up someday soon so we could see who Jeanette is. We
Yep.
need to see that, right?
I'm
All
not
right, so
for triangle purposes, but
mm-mm.
just for her to come to town
Mhm.
and maybe meet some other nice guy.
Yes, yes. It says in that scene with the stagecoach, Abigail and Nathan had a scene, but it was cut due to her leaving, and you could tell where they edited it. Okay, yeah. Yes, they had to do a lot of like massaging of things. Um, people are talking about the hat. Wait a minute, want to go back to this. What is this? Um, where's the see something? Oh, this is Cindy. Cindy said, I was seeing red during the scene when Nathan told Lucas he was a bad fit for the town. Yeah.
What do you know about the town? You think she's a bad fit? He's a bad fit for Elizabeth. That was the issue.
Yeah. And look, I love season 6, Lucas too, super confident. And then the magical elements in Lucas's character. I love just like the cuteness of it. So there was like so much, especially in that last episode. We had the christening, we had that big scene, that big reveal about what was going down with Henry. And we also had the founder's day and then the dance. So much jam packed into that. They're out there enjoying the day, and Lucas was doing his magic tricks and selling his apple cider, right? So he takes a break and he's throwing the rings on the bottles. And Elizabeth comes by and he wants to win a bear for little Jack. And she's like, oh, well, you gotta do it. And he's does the 1 and the 2, and he's like, I have a magician's wrist, right? And when he does the 3, it bounces off. She goes, oh, did you mean to bounce it off? And he goes, I absolutely did not. Like he was very like cute and flirty, and then he wins the teddy bear. And I'm just like, oh, how could you not see the cuteness in all of this? Oh,
Well, she did. That's the thing. She
yeah,
did.
she absolutely did.
But she wanted to
Absolutely.
bide her time because I think there was so much going on. I'm a widow. I have this child. And I think, he's a saloon owner. He's a businessman. I don't know if these feelings are real. I think she went through some angst as well. And again, bringing Jack, maybe I should just, stick with the Mountie, or I don't know. I think she had a lot going on emotionally. But what what some people fail to see is there was chemistry between those two right from jump.
Yep.
There were sparks, and there weren't those sparks with Nathan. Nothing against Nathan. I like Kevin. I like the character of Nathan. It's just there was not that connection. And I think they knew from the beginning what the plan was with those characters, and they just saw, oh, Nathan's popular too. Oh, we can get some mileage out of this, so let's do a triangle and milk it for all it's worth.
I, from the outside, thought, why in the world would they put her with a Mountie again? That's weird. She already was with a Mountie. She's always going to go with a Mountie. So I was curious to see who the other character would be. And I actually like Chris McNally a lot. And when I was like, it's Chris McNally, oh my God, and I remember telling my sister all about it, and she was excited. But she didn't get into it until the pandemic. we were trying to watch I was into it, but I was like, watch it, relive it with me. And so she started watching it too. And it was funny because I remember Chris doing an interview and he was saying Nina Simone's song where I'm feeling good. And it's sort of like that ba-boom, ba-boom. Yep. They would blast it, they said, and she was walking down the center of the town and the guys were on the side. And it was like, like a strip club kind of music. And it was true. They really did keep it in. And it was funny. I like that they were spicing it up a little.
Now I'm going to have to buy season 9. I'll start a GoFundMe tomorrow.
Oh. Who wants to donate? Kathy needs a GoFundMe. She needs the season 9 bloopers.
Oh my word. And the deleted scene. I want to see that deleted scene where they're
Elliot's making a big announcement, or something's coming out tomorrow on a Tuesday, his show. I'll talk about that later. All right. So this is funny. This is just a funny thing. Elizabeth couldn't be upset at Lucas for the danger she was in after he flashed that dimple.
We were talking about that earlier. Yeah.
Let's talk about that scene, or the scenes, the buildup. So we find out that he never really cheated except the one time, and he cheated because the guy was cheating and he was trying to save his friend's livelihood. Yeah. And so the guy comes back to get him and holds Elizabeth hostage and all of that. And people were blaming Lucas, even to the point where even Elizabeth marched in and said, I'm a mother with a son, and you put my life in danger. And I'm thinking, he didn't. He didn't do that. Like that.
First of all, you're the one that marched your little self over there.
Yeah.
So, get over it, girlie.
And she did, because he kind of like massaged it. And then I love when I forget exactly, you people, you're out here, you're very good at it. And it went out of my head because by this time in the day, my brain is fried. So what he says to her is he would have done everything, but he says it more poetically to save her, to save her life. She would have
I
been
would have
okay.
never let anything happen to you.
I know, but he says it in a really, and she's all like, "Oh, okay." And then he goes, "Because besides, it's my thing now to be superhero, or a hero rather." And she smiles, and then she's like, "You're coming to the party tomorrow," and he's like, "Of course I'll be there," And so I'm like, "Okay, they made up."
Okay, I don't remember them using those particular dresses. Come on now. Although that would be a pretty interesting scene if they did.
She does ask him if he is coming to the celebration, and he
I
goes,
think
"I
it was
am."
the christening. She asked
Yeah,
him specifically
and
about the christening.
she goes, "Good, good," because she wants him to be there. You know what?
Because I want to be able to tell little Jack that stepdad has been there right from the beginning.
And he was watching right from the beginning, and all of them, they were all there. That was really lovely. Um, I love when they do the ribbon cutting, and they enter, and Lucas is at the end of that table, and he asks Elizabeth to come over, and she's got little Jack in her arms, and they look like they're a family because looking down the end of the table is Nathan, and he looks straight up and puts his eyes right to him.
Low burn.
And like, this would be a great book. And then of course Bill comes in and looks and says, "Let me have my godson," and takes him off to go look at the Cowboys.
Yeah, I really don't want Bill as the best man. He does not deserve it.
You want to be the not best man, he's the godfather.
No. When the wedding happens, I don't want Bill to be the best man. He does
To
not.
who?
Elizabeth and Lucas, when they finally get married.
Do you think he would be the best man?
I don't know. Who knows what this
No, it would be like Henry or Gustav or no.
I think Gustav deserves it, but I bet he wouldn't pick him.
I think Robert would be the best man
Lee.
before.
It'll be Lee and Rosemary will stand up for them.
Yeah, before Bill.
Ugh.
All right, Avis. Yep, Avis was the name of the guy who was the crook with the long hand or long arm. I agree with you, ladies. Look, I'm putting that up because she's a great. No, oh, it's Jan. I agree with you, ladies. Lucas did not put Elizabeth in danger. She did it by going into the saloon herself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's it. Here it is. Thank you. He says that he went without fear and without. Arlene, I tell you, people are smart out there, without fear and without hesitation. Yes. All right, everyone's going, Elizabeth went there. Elizabeth went there. I like the scene when he told her to apply for the waitress. Yes, that is when they first meet, and then they kind of do that flirty thing in the.
He was like in love instantly.
Yep, he was when he laid eyes on her. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, but this is important. This is newsflash.
Oh,
why? No pillow fight in the deleted scenes. That's because Elliot, for all of you that are there, I call up Elliot and talk to him on the phone. You should tell us, sometimes he misses the mark. He doesn't know what we want. He's not on the pulse of what we want. And we wanted to see that scene.
The pulses.
I know, the pulse, whatever. Wait, no, you can't feel the pulse because it's not the right spot. He's not on the pulse. So yes, we wanted that scene. They even talked about it. They said it was cute. They being the actors, Chris even talked about it, and Elizabeth, and Aaron rather. Why did they like cut it out when they did? They don't know.
To torture us.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Robin, what's Robin saying? He is a great actor and he always gets right into his characters. Are we talking about Chris McNally? Yeah.
She's nodding.
She's nodding, we could tell. Okay, what's this? I think if there had only been Nathan and no Lucas, Elizabeth would never have connected with Nathan in the way she did with Lucas. Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. And listen, this is true. The chemistry was real, and you will see why when you get the new DVDs. Oh, yeah. Listen to me, Viola. I totally agree with you. Yes. Oh my God, the humor with the Torque as they try to win a fishing pole for oh my God, I know. And who comes along and does it but Carson? And where was Faith in this episode? She was helping her father who was ill. Remember, there was that whole thing back and forth where she was really pregnant, is I think what was going on. But she was going back and forth. Was she pregnant in that episode? Because she wasn't there, and remember the Christmas episode, they kept missing each other, and or is that
Faith and Carson?
yeah, that's coming up later. So but where was she towards the end? So this is when they first decide that they're going to have a relationship, right?
Who,
Faith
me?
and Carson? Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, in the beginning. But where did she go in the end? And towards the end of
She
this
went to, it wasn't it that school, or she went to be interviewed about whether or not they were going to accept her at medical school or something like that?
yeah.
Or was it when she visited her dad? Was that it?
That was a there is a Christmas one where she's trying to take care of her father, but it was like she was just badoop out of the story, like gone.
That may have been when she was going to see if she could, taking the test to see if she could enter medical school. I don't know.
Also, I loved where Rosemary wanted a baby, and I think it was because Elizabeth had her baby, and I think it made her a little jealous. And I can't wait to see the pregnant Rosemary in season 10. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Brian says, I don't think Nathan had any romantic interest in Elizabeth at this point. Oh, oh no,
I think he did. Remember, it turned out that he even accepted the assignment because he wanted to protect her. And I think he later said, I got there and I realized I had feelings for you. I don't think he'd been there very long before he figured. I think that's what was driving him to be hostile to hostile to Lucas right from the beginning. Get out of town. I don't need the competition.
Yes, Brian. He's saying it's not a deleted scene. The scene was trimmed. And I think he's talking about you're correct, the one with the pillow fight. So, but that doesn't mean that they don't have that footage somewhere that they could have added to. He needs to make another DVD with deleted scenes. Okay. I remember when Elizabeth was kind of on Abigail's side when she was fighting for the vote for the saloon to close early. Actually, it was Abigail who was kind of playing around with that, and then it came out to be that it was so many she knew she would probably have to be the deciding vote, and then it kind of was like a compromise, and she said she looked over to Lucas and she said, "You're a part of us now. We're going to look out for you." Kathy has like a little interesting idea about Abigail and Lucas, right?
All right. Nobody attack me or anything.
Okay.
I have this kind of nagging little teeny tiny feeling that if Lori hadn't left, just based strictly on the way Lucas was introduced to the storyline, I sometimes wonder if the plan wasn't to connect those two, Lucas and Abigail, and then just leave Elizabeth to reignite a relationship with a Mountie. I don't know. There wasn't that much of an age difference, and he had a lot in common with her. I don't know.
Maybe. Just like when Faith came to town, there was that little bit of flirtiness with Faith and Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And Elizabeth showed that she was a little bit upset by it. These are just fun. Then we're going to do a little trivia. These are just fun little things. And then we're going to tell you about next week. Things that people are saying. Christine says, I didn't like the scene at the baptism when Nathan was holding Jack and making the faces at little Jack. Elizabeth was getting all giddy watching, but I think she was seeing Jack. Oh, okay. But I'm okay with that. It was fun. You know what? I was looking at it when I saw that, Christine, and I understand how you're feeling. I think that what that was is that they had talked about being single parents, and he knew what that felt like. He's raising his daughter. She was raising her son. I think they were connecting with those feelings. It's okay. I mean, if she was giddy, it's all right. I think we need to call Elliot and tell him we need to see that scene. The man needs help making the selection, and I volunteer. Okay, Nikki, give him a ring. You could call when you go to the Edify website, and you can call. There's a number. Let's see. He tries to leave the office by 6. I only know this
Time
because I
zone is he in?
pardon me, 6
What
his
time,
time because they're in Washington. What did you say, Kathy?
what time zone is he in?
He's in Pacific. The
So
East, yeah, the West, yeah, Pacific.
6 Pacific.
Yeah. She had left town to see her father who had heart attack. Yes, I do, but was pregnant in real life. I remember that, but I didn't remember like where it was because or that's why I said it that the helping with the dad. But the thing that's what sparks her then to want to become a doctor. Remember, while she's there, that sparks that whole thing. But what threw me was how she just totally was disappearing for those last few scenes. Like we didn't hear anything about her. And when I was reviewing and watching, I stopped at one point and then a couple days went by and then I picked up and then at the end I was like, wait a minute, what happened to Faith? Where'd she go? Oh, all right. Faith went to see her dad.
I don't
Maybe
think I
Andrew.
even knew she was pregnant in real life.
Pardon me?
I didn't even know she was pregnant in real life. I totally missed that.
But I thought I remember she was pregnant when she in the season was it 7? Because she only has one daughter. It was like I remember her saying the outfits that she had to wear and how they had a film because I interviewed her before and how they had to like change what she had on and everything. Okay, maybe Andrea was doing Supergirl then. Yeah, so Faith had to go for a job interview at the hospital in Union City. You know what, Arlene? I forgot about that. You're right. Maybe that's what was going on. Yeah, and then Jan saying she thinks that Nathan did have feelings for Elizabeth soon after he arrived. And Christine wants to know what's the difference. I'm wondering what that means. I don't know which difference. Heart attack was in the 6th season. You're right. The race scene is not there either. Oh, wow. Okay. We're going back and forth. I asked about the Christmas book at the time and I was told that it was not available. Okay, Jackie. I looked it up. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I almost thought it was like a fake book. You know, there's another book that she reads back in season 7 when Lucas is in charge of the Christmas bazaar. And she's reading a book then too. What were you going to say? I love that Christmas
I
book.
just love that episode, the way she went up to him at the end and told him, you're part of the family now. And oh, I just loved it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I asked about the Christmas book. I think Jackie's talking about the one I had asked about too. All right, let's see what the new comments are, and then we'll play a little game. The difference of deleting a scene and trimming a scene. Oh, what's the difference, Christine? So a deleted scene is that it's preserved. It's like a whole thing that they just cut it out of the plot. And it still works without it. Trimming a scene is just think about that pillow fight. There was more of the pillow fight that went on and they cut it off and you could almost see where it wasn't a good cutoff. You know, you could tell that there was more that and it just cut. And I know, Christine, you'll say sometimes when you're watching a Hallmark movie, how you feel like the commercial comes on and it kind of cuts off and doesn't allow us to see the rest of the scene. That's kind of like what it is. So, but you still have access to it. It's still there. I guess they just didn't choose to. Yeah. Yes, she was pregnant at season 7 Hearties reunion. Yeah. I was wondering if she's pregnant now because of what she had on at the Hearties reunion. Yeah. Teresa, Tia, I didn't see Sparks with Lucas. The way she watches Lucas interacting with Cody, I think she appreciated him giving her son fatherly attention.
Oh, I'm not saying I saw sparks. I speculated if maybe they were planning to go in that direction. They don't always follow the sparks.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. Yep. She's asking about the difference between the scenes. I answered that, I think. And Bryson says, I had been watching these lives last week and I'm glad I got to be a part of the adventure. Yeah. Our lives?
Our
Should I just
adventure?
yeah. Us?
We're an adventure?
So, Bryson, if you're new and you just started to see, did you catch what we did when for season 9? So it's season 9 on Mondays after the episode aired, we'd have the actors on with us or the writers or whoever, and we would chat about and analyze the scene. Yeah. And she's saying she does think that she's pregnant now. And they keep that quiet. So it's just a little speculation I had when I saw her. Yeah. Okay, so let's play a little bit of trivia. And of course, if you have any, do you want to add anything else, Kathy?
Nope, I'm good. Let's
Okay.
trivialize.
We'll do a little trivia. I feel like no, I talked about, did I talk about the proposal? I didn't. I talked about it with you and not everyone else. I forget. Kathy and I chat behind the scenes, and then she says crazy stuff, and then I die laughing, and then I forget if it was something we said then or now. Okay, so something else that I really liked that was in that last episode, because everything was in that last episode, was the proposal with Jesse and Clara. And what he said to her was he asks her to dance, and she goes, yes, of course. And he goes, no, will you dance with me for the rest of our lives? And I was like, oh, I love that. That was so good. So that last episode had the Henry surprise. It had the Founders Day fair, the dancing stuff going on, the proposal, and the christening. It was just like, they threw it all in there. And I think maybe because they had to revamp the storyline, like you said. Do you know what I mean? I don't know that. Yeah, I agree. Okay. You'll have to watch.
I wonder what stuff happened that wasn't going to happen because they had to make such drastic shifts. I mean, I wonder if they accelerated some stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's see. And what she say? The advantage about the facts of the show, and Kathy and I loved Pastor Frank. I wish he could come back to see how Hope Valley is doing, then goes to see Abigail. Oh.
Bryson, we'll talk later. Maybe we need to arrange a road trip. We'll just in search of Pastor Frank. We'll have a blog and everything.
Yeah. Yes, and his hand was shaking when he went to have the drink. I know, and that's why he couldn't do the tie. And they fix up his tie, and all the men are like behind him and supporting him. Like I said, that last episode was like a kapow.
I really enjoyed Jesse's character until they started making him almost incompetent. It's like he regressed.
Yeah,
he was doing so good, and then he started acting very immaturely. So
yeah,
that kind of spoiled it for me.
I know. I hear you. All right, let's do this. You ready, peoples? Now, I always have to preface this, and I don't mean to be condescending. I just might be having my teacher voice, and I honestly, let me say, I don't mean to sound condescending, but everyone's computer is in a different time zone or it has a different Wi-Fi capacity, and you may hear things a minute or two later, whatever, but we go by the timestamp. So whoever has the earliest timestamp with the correct answer is who is the winner. And what we're doing is we're looking for the person who has the most repeat, like correct answers to win. And if not, we'll figure out. I write down all the names and we could just pull the names out of a hat. So it's just for fun. And we do have a prize. And the last prize I sent, I thought was cute, but she's not here. She's at a meeting. Deb's at a meeting tonight. She told me. Okay. I was so happy when Rosemary became pregnant. I know we are too. I'm a huge Rosemary fan. And I know some people were posting that they were mad that it was like almost if Rosemary and Lee were the couple and they were taking too much time away from Lucas and Elizabeth. I saw that all over social media the other day. And you know what? I don't think that, but I love Rosemary and Lee. So I'm a huge.
Rosemary is so high maintenance under normal circumstances. I cannot wait to see her pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Lee is so accommodating. He loves her to death. So that'll be a fun ride, I think. I hope they don't do a time jump. I'd like to see her.
Like see some of it, right?
Yes.
There was this, yes, I did see her in Wish You a Merry Christmas, Arlene. She was in the very beginning. She had that part where she was their therapist. I loved it. It was great. That was a cute movie. At first, I didn't like it because I didn't feel that the two actors had chemistry, but the storyline is so good. And both of those actors are very good actors. And everybody, it was cute. It was on the other night. Did you get to see it, Kathy?
I know it's on my DVR, but I love Chris Palaha, and I'm just devastated that they're not going to do any more of the mystery shows or the Murder 101, I think it was, and they left on a cliffhanger. It's like that wasn't right.
You don't know. You don't know. Oh, Janice, or is it no Joyce? Joyce. I think you and Kathy should be in charge of choosing the deleted scenes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so here we go. I am going to put this up. Do not start yet, peoples, okay? And I'm doing it backwards. I'm starting with this one. So, who are these characters right here? Who are they? We're checking out the costumes by the very talented Barbara. She's excellent. And if you've never seen it, I interviewed Barbara and she talked so much and gave us so much background about the costumes. You could see it. It's one of my earlier lives. All right. Who got it first, Miss Kathy?
Looks like Janice at 7 your time, 8:52 p.m.
Right,
actually, there are several that are at the same time. You'll have to see who's got the earliest time.
All right. So yes, there's several at 8:52, and the first one is Gloria, where she says Lori and Lucas. But you know what? Lori and Lucas. That's funny. That's really Lori as Abigail, right? And Chris
it's
as
really
Lucas.
Abigail and Lucas.
Yeah, but we'll give it to you, Gloria. All right, we've got Gloria down. Okay, good. Yeah, definitely Lucas and Abigail. Yes. Good. Okay, here is the next one. Who is this? Who is this? Who? All right.
Someone said Elizabeth.
Jan was first, I think.
Yep,
Jan. All right. It is Elizabeth. Now I tested Kathy with this. Who did you think that one was, Kathy?
I thought it was Rosemary.
Yeah. Oh, and some other people do too. Yeah. All right. And I thought maybe her ring would have given it away. And then this one. Who's this?
I'd be surprised if anyone guesses this one wrong.
Yeah. Yes, wrong shape. You are correct.
Oh. As I suspected.
Everyone's getting it right. And the first one was it Lillian? Okay. Yes.
Looks like Lillian.
All right, Lillian.
Did everyone guess Fiona because of the attitude?
Yes, the way. And that's a fun fact. So when I was talking to Kayla a while back, like 6 months ago maybe, when we chatted, I think it was for her Butterfly movie was coming out, and then we also talked Wayne Calls the Heart. She was saying that when she was auditioned and she got the part, they told her that she was just going to dress differently because she's got that high, like around the ankle. Her hair was going to be different, and the way she actually moved and talked was going to be different. So you can see how she does have that bit of a sass. And I liked her character immediately, even though she was like a busybody to what Lucas was. I still really, really liked her. And you know what? She connected with Kevin, the blacksmith. He had a little crush on her, and she kind of liked it. She asked him to dance at the.
Another favorite they got rid of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to let Roxanne be in charge of deleted scenes. I'm going to be in charge of retrieving actors that they let go in error.
Okay, I love that. I love it. All right. So we're not done. Those are just the visual trivia. So we've got Gloria and Jan and Lillian. All right. So here we go. There was a new building that was introduced in season 6. Like y'all don't know what it is. What is it? What new building was introduced to Hope Valley in season 6? All right, hold on. A whole bunch of things came up at the same time. Kevin is on the new show, So Help Me Todd. Yes, he is. Okay, Jan got it. It's the library. Oh, Jan has 2 now. Good job. Okay. And 2 of the buildings that had been there from season 1 were remodeled. So if you could get both of these together, you will get 2 points, which they weren't remodeled, but they were altered and changed. And they'd been there since season 1. This one is worth 2 points. Let's see. Okay, let's see. No one's getting it. No one. No one has it. It's funny because people have it, but not together. Think about what was going on in the town. Come on, you could do it. No one. No. Jean. We're talking about season 6, Jean. Oh! Someone got it. It just went away. Where'd it go? Here it is. Here it is. Lillian got it. The saloon and the mercantile. Good, Lillian. 2 points for you. Lillian is the winner. So it was the saloon because Lucas buys it, changes the name, puts a new sign, revamps the insides, adds stuff, all that. And then the mercantile got that back part where they had the switchboard, and the front they used to, up even to the end of season 6, they used to eat in there and have tea in those little chairs and tables, because you remember that's when Laura finally gets the job to be the nanny. She's up front, she was working in there, and she cleans out cleans off the tables with the teacups and stuff. So they take that away. So it is definitely the mercantile and the saloon. Good job. Okay, Lillian, I'll be sending you a present in the mail. And I'm not sure, but I think, Lillian, I might have your address. Okay, I don't know if anybody has anything else they want to say. I don't know if you want to, Kathy. We could wind down and tell them about next week.
Nope, let's tell them about next week.
Do you want to tell them it's season 7? And our beloved Christmas special, it's one of my favorites, is included. And who's going to be our guest?
It's someone related to a storyline that Henry had.
Yeah.
In that Christmas special.
Yes.
He went out of his way. I think that may have been the first time we saw his compassionate side, or that much compassionate side. And he went out of his way to help someone who was in deep trouble, and got to know this person and offered future help to point them in the right direction. Does anyone know where we're headed with this yet? How do you remember that storyline where Henry went out of his way?
Yeah. I just got an alert. I'll have to tell you about my alert in a minute. Anyone?
Carrie got it.
Yeah. I'll answer this question too. I'll flash it up there. Yes, Carrie the salesman, Walter, right? And
Yep.
his real first name is Ryan. He's coming on. Yes, he's almost like I was telling my aunt this. She's like he's almost had like a magical quality about him, like
He was
almost
very gentle.
he was an angel,
Yeah,
there to tell. Yes, yes,
very gentle and very sincere
yes.
and really wanted to succeed. And Henry just gave him great advice.
And many people have asked me, "Oh, why don't you have him come on to as a guest?" And I was like, "Well, you know what? When we decided to do this, that was always in the back of my head." And he's like, "Yeah, I would love to come on and talk." So that's exciting because then we could tell him how much we loved him. And even though he was in that one episode, I always wished that he would come back.
Hmm.
I did. Okay, so Arlene, well, before I digress, so tomorrow, Elliot is having for the Edify show. He's having a show now, and he's coming out with his big news tomorrow, and the 20 well, tomorrow's the 25th, right? So
Hmm.
that's what I was referencing earlier, and I said I would explain myself at the end. I don't even know what's going on or happening, but what cracks me up is that you had 10 years to do this and now you're finally doing it. Okay. All righty. As for Christmas countdown movie guests, yes, I do have some coming on. As a matter of fact, if all goes well and I get it organized, I have one that is not actually a Christmas countdown guests are coming on, but a lot of the actors and even the writer, Anna White, who's involved, are doing a major network Christmas movie called Fit for Christmas. So I'm going to do something with them too, which is kind of, but Elliot should have you as a guest. Okay. Happy birthday a little early, Bryson. Bryson, is your birthday? Is your birthday today? Or is that tomorrow? Oh. Oh. Okay, you're about to watch season 5. Oh goodness. There's such yeah, yeah. Yes, he was sick and Carson gave him his coat. Those are talking about our guest. So, yes, I am having some coming on, and I have to tell you, I was so excited because I love Allison Sweeney, and I've interviewed her before, and I got her. She's a lovely publicist. Her publicist is so lovely. I cannot say that about all of the American. When I see that people have an American publicist, I'm like, because the Canadian publicists are so nice and they're humble and then I've encountered some from the US that are like I'm gum on their shoe. I'm like, okay, but her publicist is lovely. And she just contacted me and she said I'm not getting revealing anything. She's like she's back in production for her next movie already. Ooh, because she has a really cool movie coming out um with oh, it went right out of my head. That girl, what's her name? The
Marlo
actress.
Thomas.
What is it?
Marlo Thomas.
Yes, she's in the movie with her. It's gonna be
Wow. I
good.
didn't even know
Yes,
she's still acting great.
yes, I'm so excited about it.
Let me tell you my
Yes,
Allie Sweeney story.
yeah.
I've
Pardon me.
always liked her from her days as Bad Sammy on Days
Yes,
of Our Lives.
yes.
Um,
My sister
until
loves her. Yeah,
I had to do a pause and a reset.
yeah,
And she
yeah.
made, I think it was a Hallmark movie, where her love interest was the guy who played her twin brother on Days of Our
Oh,
Lives. I was like, oh, I'm not ready for this. Oh,
yes, she talks about it. The rumor is it's Wedding Veil 4. It is. It truly is Wedding Veil 4 that is coming. You are correct. Yes. But I'm not sure if that's why she's in production, but she's doing so much now. She has this wonderful contract and I'm like, "Oh, we could talk so much, but she's busy." But I'll make sure she comes back. She's lovely and she's funny cuz she's like this. She says a whole lot in 20 minutes and she goes, bye. So it's fun having her on. I really like it. All right, my friends. Yes, I will have some more countdown the Christmas stuff coming up. And I think that's it. Do we have any questions
look
or
at Bryson's question at
oh,
9:04 p.m.
what did she say? Oh, hold on. All right, Bryson, where are you? 9:04 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. I see a
Because,
thanks
it's two above that.
birthday.
Two above Candace, the one
I
you
don't.
just highlighted.
All right, I don't see
Starts
it.
with Katie. I think she meant Kathy.
Okay.
Anyway, she says, Kathy, I had watched last week's live. There you go. And you had mentioned Aaron's wig, and I can't stop thinking about it while watching season 5. Yeah.
Ew,
I'm telling you, it was its own, it needed to get its own SAG card.
chair.
Whatever they have, yeah, whatever they
It
have in
needed
Canada,
a chair.
it needed to
It
join the
needed its
union.
own credit. But I
Yeah,
have to tell you what's funny is that before Kathy even said that, somebody else was in the chat saying the same thing, like that wig.
it was not good.
Yeah,
I'll
I
leave it
know.
at
I
that.
know. The wig was so bad. We know. We're gonna rehash that wig again. For oh, I think Allison Sweetie would be the perfect Jeanette.
Ooh.
Oh, Nikki.
Only if
Oh,
Jeanette has a little coquette in her, because she's very good at that.
yes. Yes, I love it. Oh, sorry for misspelling your name. It's okay. It's all
Oh,
good.
no worries.
Yeah, and I hope they learned from that season. I think they did.
Arlene
Oh,
said the wig needed to be buried with Jack.
who said that?
Arlene,
Arlene's spicy tonight.
why
Oh,
are people so mean about Elizabeth's wig? Because the producers were mean enough to make us watch her wearing it. That's it.
well, Rona's saying they made up for that wig in season 6, and you are
Yes,
correct. You
yes,
are right.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. And as we could end with Kathy, what do you always want? What's your wish for her hair and her wigs?
My dream is she goes into the barber shop on the ladies' day, and Fiona gives her a really bad haircut or accidentally chops something off she shouldn't with her hair, and she's forced to wear a bob, which is pretty much in at that time period, and she can then start wearing her normal hair, her real
Right. Yes, I think that would be cute. Poor Joy says, "Why are the people so mean about Elizabeth's wig?" Oh,
hair. Have you seen the wig?
okay.
No, I think she's Candace. I think she's wearing a wig still. I don't think
She
her
is.
real hair is cut.
Oh yeah,
It's
her real hair is real. It's thinner and it's short. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And some people like your idea. And does she wear extensions? Yes, Candace. She does have something going on. What was the thing? Oh, this one. People have said this before. What about Julie Gonzalez playing Jeanette? She would be a younger Jeanette.
Yeah, I think Jeanette was supposed to be older. She was the widow of one of his older, like a mentor or something.
Well,
That's
he
what I
just said
remember.
friend. I don't think he ever. They don't think they ever really said that.
Did I
You
just have
know.
to create that backstory in my head?
No, everybody did. There are many people that think that along with you. Yes, many people think that. But I went and researched it and I was like, no, no, Bob. Long hair is trademark. Okay, Annie. All right. She wants her long hair. All right, we're good. Well, thank you for tuning in. And I almost said thank you for tuning into the Fox's Den, my family's channel. Like I always used to say that and close out. But thank you for tuning in tonight. We will see you next week. We are already at season 7. Can you believe it? And of course, we have our Ryan, who is Walter. He'll be coming on. And then we've got season 8 and 9. After that, we only have 2 more left. And
Mhm.
if all things, thank you. So they're saying thanks, great as always. If all things go well, we think we have a Christmas fun night planned, right?
Yep.
Like it's a lot of work, but Kathy and I'll talk about it. So we still have a few more things like with some contests going on and recipe and special guests. And they'll be finished filming season 10. So that frees up some special guests. We'll see.
Oh, I'm gonna break one of the surprise. We're gonna have the wig on. Make a special appearance. No.
You know what? When we leave, I got something to tell you. All
Oh,
right. Thank you for tuning in, friends. Good night.
alrighty. Good night, everyone. See you next week.
Yes.